And my name is Muhibullah Kabir Ahmad, and I'm originally from Burma, and it's located in Southeast Asia. And I flee to Malaysia in 2012 after the conflict because of there is I was a student in my country, and now I flee from my school. It was I specifically remember it was 8 June 2012. I was in school, my class, and there is a conflict erupted in the town, and there was a start the racial group start beating people, and including I was torture, and I was threw the stone on my head, and I fall down on the ground, and I was unconscious for a few hours, and I wake up on my mom lap. Then my mom hold my hand, and she said, "Can you please promise me?" I say, "What I should promise with you?" And she say, "Please leave this country. I don't want to lose you." So then I have to flee to Malaysia. When I was going to Malaysia, and it was on the fishing boat, a small fishing boat, and we lost 27 people on the small boat because, there is no water, no food, and 26 days without without food, 5 days completely without water. And I saw my fellow people on the boat was chewing their finger just to suck the blood because they are dying, and I was among one of them. There is in Southeast Asia, there is called Andaman. There is another island called Barren Island, which is volcanic island in Southeast, active volcanic island in Southeast Asia. And we make it to there, and we start eating the crabs and leaves, and people are infected, with their tongues. After that, spending 13 days on this island without food again, and Indian government, we set a light to the Andaman, on the island, and this the fire was quite big, and then it's appearing from other places, and the Indian authority came from the Andaman. It's called Port Blair, and then they brought us to the Andaman. After that, 4 months later, they sent us to the Thailand, and then they brought us to the Thailand jungle. It was those are the human traffickers. The human trafficker was start beating, killing people for money, and then after a few months, and I managed to go to Malaysia. And in Malaysia, I was with undocumented refugee, and I tried to get my documentation of Indonesia, but it was not that easy because there is a process take a few years to get Indonesia document. After spending the time in Malaysia for 2 years, then I was arrested by immigration again for not being a state for not be having a valid document. Then I was sentenced to I was kept in the immigration camp, and also sentenced to jail for not having document. But I am a stateless, and I don't have any passport. Our citizenship was taken away by the Burmese junta in 1982 before I was born. So I was stateless before I was born. So because nobody recognized me as a human being, and I myself, I was born as a human, like you guys, like everybody, and I have a same taste. I feel pain. I have a blood. I have the same body organ as you have, but I was not recognized as a human being. For being a Rohingya refugee, it was not my choice. I don't have any kind of choice to select any country or to ask for the settlement. It was always UNHCR who choosing the people who based on their database information, because during the interview they ask every question, so they are the UNHCR is the one who's decided for me. For being a stateless, for being a refugee, I have no right or desire to make. To have a desire. So it's always my decision is always made by someone. For being a refugee, for being a stateless, I have no right to make any kind of decision. My decision is being made by someone else. So UNHCR selected me to be resettled, and finally, after a lot of struggle, I make to Canada. First thing what I did in Canada is I take out my shoes, barefoot. I go to the ground and I feel it. I said, this is for the first time. I feel no fear. From there, I moved to the reception house, and the reception house welcomed me And then thank you so much, reception house, for welcoming me and people like me. A lot of people are there, and they always welcome us in a way like family. They treat us like family, like friend. And of course, these people are all as strangers there. I know nobody there, and nobody know me before either. But the way they treat with a dignity, that was lacking for me. And I was not treated in back in my country, back in the Malaysia. I was treated like I'm not a human being. So after coming to Canada, these people are stranger, and I do not know these people. The way they treated me is like it's touched me so much, and I feel like finally it's home, and I feel like connected to the people. Thank you so much to the Canada for giving me this opportunity, for for coming to, for allowing me to bring to Canada. Thank you. IRCC and reception house just did not help me to come to Canada. They helped me to become a human again. So because I was in a Burma where I was not treated as a human. It's everything for me because I was born stateless, and I was stateless, and I was treated so ill for not having a legitimate documentation. After receiving the permanent resident card, physical card, and I put on my chest for 3 days. First video call I make to my mom. Mom, I am no longer an illegal alien, because in Asia I was called illegal alien for not having an identity, and I have zero right. I mean, I was human. I'm a human, but I was not treated as a human. On video chat, I call my mom. Mom, in my family, I'm the first person who is holding a legitimate documentation. My existence is there. I am exist. So this PR card is not only permanent resident card for me. It's a everything for me. That's a life for me. And for the first time, I'm holding this PR card. It's like I feel so proud, and I feel so grateful to Canadian and Canada. Thank you so much, Canada. In the reception house, they are very like family. They are helping everything, because we are like newborn baby. They are guiding us for every single thing, including how to go to the bus, how to go to the bank and opening a bank account, which we never had in our life. Just for your information, for being a stateless, for being Rohingya refugee, we are not allowed to have a bank account. So for the first time, going to the bank and opening a bank, and exploring to the referring our case to the education department, and bringing us to the family doctor. And they are the one who are our first contact is a newcomer. And but what I like the most is these people are very kind. That's the thing. Because I was expecting, because for being to 30 years back in Asia, where I was not treated as a human, so I was not expecting from reception house that kind of kindness, because I did not know that Canada is that kind. Of course, I heard in research that there is kindness is in Canada about EDI and this thing, but really, I feel after coming there, wow, these people are so amazing, and this a helping hand to others. And even though some client not understanding, they repeatedly explain and explain. And this reception house is really doing a great job. I really feel, because this is the team who is connecting the newcomer to the Canada. So these are the really powerful people I consider, because a lot of people are coming to Canada, but reception house is introduced into a system that these people don't need to struggle to find out. So it's really helpful for us. In the first month, I start realizing, first thing is, there's no fear, because I live my whole life in fear. Because for being stateless, anybody can come and arrest you for without any reason. There is no law. See, I mean, the law in Malaysia say for a refugee, they did not need to give any justification to arrest you, because they are not, signatory country to UN convention. That means they do not need to give any kind of right or anything to the refugee. And I'm always in fear. And back in my country, there is always fear of the military junta. There is every day they are killing and ongoing this thing. So after coming to Canada, first thing I realize is it's like mentally it's like I feel like I am a man now. I have my dignity, and anyone coming to do this kind of to harm me, he or she need to give me justification why she or he is arresting me. But back in my country, back in Malaysia, where I was, I have a know that I do not have that right to say to authority why you are arresting me. I just need to give my hand to them because I have no legal identity there. So it's a lot to me because I was all the time in fear. So after coming to Canada, it's like I have no fear at all. So because everyone is treating as a human being, and for example, in the lift, whenever I go inside into my lift, going to my apartment, there is Canadian people always say hi, hello, they it's like they show they gesture smile. I was not treated that way back in my country, back in Malaysia, everywhere I was. But I feel like so connected to this community, and I'm very happy to to be a proud Canadian, and I'll be serving the country as much as I can. So after coming to Canada, what I first thing is experience like back in Asia, 18 degrees Celsius or 15 degrees Celsius, we are wearing a lot of jacket and this thing. After coming here, it's when I was wearing my jacket in 20 degrees Celsius, and people my friends are laughing at me. Oh, well, this is not cool, buddy. And but in our country, this is not considered as a very cold. But here is a going to negative minus. Yeah, so it's not that difficult, but we are missing our family as well because my parents, my sibling, I'm the only person who is without fear. It's a bit difficult for us to do. It's because I'm the only person who's not in fear, but we left a lot of people behind. That everyone is only people only will know when they suffer. It has to be based on a testimony, based on the hearing story. It's only emotional for a moment. When you feel the pain, then only you realize how difficult it is to deal with. So, my mom, and she become three-time refugee, 1970, 1978, 1992, 2016. And she give up. She said, no, there will be no peace at all in this land. And she was always looking for peaceful land to be, to her last moment. And she's on her deathbed. And it's always they feel like, oh, you guys are in the better place, no fear. I mean, survival for livelihood is everywhere is there. I mean, no matter where you live on this planet, you can eat and you can do whatever you want. But it's all about the fear. The fear is real. It's not only for some people. It's just giving testimony. It's only they are listening to the people. The fear because when you are realizing somebody just came and kill your a few children, how you are going to go? There is no one to even express their pain, and it's very difficult actually to leave all the people behind. If really if I myself is after coming here, I feel comfortable because of nobody going to harm me, because this is a country where the human right is they value a lot. But there has an it's it's iceberg example of pain. Of course I'm happy, like it's exactly iceberg example, but it's deep down. There is my brother, my sister, my mom. Similarly, other refugees who resettled to Canada, other country as well, they also having this kind of lot. Maybe I only one person is resettled, but left behind is a lot. So if of course, if anybody asks me what is your wish, of course I want to reunite my family. It's been 13 years I separated with my mom, and I couldn't meet her at all. So who on earth not going to meet their family? We live in for our family, right? Yeah, it's always difficult, seriously. I have only a small message to the Canadian and Canada. Uh, Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's been a lot for us. I mean, you guys only, the Canada only did not give us the identity. They did not only give us safety. Like, I took even picture with police here. To live peacefully, that was my hope, what I'm doing now. Because I was physically and mentally, we were tortured from childhood to from, until this now. So we are so tortured by the government, other agency back in my country, that we do not even have a desire to hope for anything. We are not used to it, to hope for anything, because we are that terrible. When you don't have identity, you have no existence on this planet. So this is why my hope is I just don't want people suffer the way I did, and those who are suffering should find a solution by then, like people who can change this thing. And we are same human being. Somebody's having luxury life, and someone is cannot even afford the safety of their children. Which is, as a human being, I think every human being has a right to live. I think that should be practiced in everywhere on the planet, not only Canada. Of course, Canada is safe. So we as a community, the community all over the world should make human life priority, rather than just only a specific group is luxury life, and the other group of people is nobody's taking care of them, and then just so it's a very terrible actually. Now my dream, I have my dream to to reunite with my parent. That's the thing. I mean, she is on her deathbed, 78, I think 72 or 73 years old. Just wanted to take a nap on her lap. That's my dream. And then just wanted to see her that she is no longer in the fear. Well, of course, she's on her deathbed and every day having like seizure and weekly is a chronic seizure she's having. But she's always asks my sister and my sister-in-law always tell me that when she's on her seizure attack, she always look for you. She always look for you. And sometimes she talk like hey, why you guys are blocking the door? My son is coming. Why you guys are blocking the door? So when I hear this thing, like it's really hurt me, because I'm a human being. Same, I belong to this planet. Why I'm treated not equal like others? Of course, I do not belong to countries like Canada, but now I can say I belong to Canada because I'm in Canada now. So nobody's going to take away my existence. But there is my parent, my brothers, and everyone is back in the other countries suffering. Yeah, my dream is just only to unite and live the life happily with them. That's my dream.